everyone, this is FantasyEsque and welcome back to the Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salazar Coven. We are picking up in a fairly new establishment called Cataleya Cafe in honor of the Queen's royal wife, where Prince Mordred and Princess Qaira have just gotten engaged. It is storming outside, the weather's kind of ominous, but I hope that isn't an indicator of where their relationship is going to go from here. Before we dive into talking about the mini-movie, I just wanted to let you guys know that after the previous episode, I thought, the fancy took me, and I thought it would be a cool thing to maybe explore what everyone who attended the Royal Tournament has been thinking of, and maybe like what they were focusing on during the event or where their attention was at. So I went ahead and made a bunch of Instagram posts yesterday, which is when this video was supposed to come out, and that took the whole day. So I'm sorry for getting this video out later than I intended, but it's here finally. Anyways, I will put my Insta handle up on the screen so you guys can go ahead and check that out. I also have a link to my Insta on the channel page, so if you are interested, please go take a look. It is quite informative because there is 15 posts, one for each of the characters who are currently in the household and were there during the Royal Tournament, and it kind of shows some of their motivations, maybe what they're thinking of, some things that maybe have been left a bit unspoken in the actual videos, like with Lucille. She talks a little bit about her blooming romance with Lady Guinevere and such. And even we get a kind of in-depth look into Mordred and Matchmaker K, which is super fun. But I think that would be a really good basis going into this episode, because you kind of get some insight into everyone's headspace and what kind of attitude they're approaching this whole situation with. But okay guys, let's talk about the mini movie. So we started off with all of the Coven members gathered, and Queen Eden was announcing finally the engagement between Mordred and Qaira. So yes, they are now engaged to each other. Before, it was in the talks, and now finally they are bound in some way. So that happened, and then Matchmaker K, he was diving in. He was being super hypo and just really excitable. And I have to say, I really love K. He's got, his energy is next level, to be honest. His energy is next level. Regardless of how we feel about Mordred, I just love K. So he was saying, it's a match perfect for the royal family. And the Queen was agreeing with that and saying she's really pleased. And then Mordred, I think he was being a little bit cheeky, I suppose, and he was saying, "Smile, darling, we're engaged now," to Princess Qaira, but she obviously was quite unhappy and miserable about that whole thing. She didn't reply to him. She kind of just looked up and she said, "This weather looks ominous." And afterwards, Mordred was sitting down at one of the tables with Kay, and Kay being him, Kay being Kay, he was like, Mordred, congratulations, but you need to talk to the princess. I'm being serious here, Your Highness, you need to talk to her. The silence is going to be suffocating when you guys end up marrying each other. You can't continue this way. So then Mordred was like, fine, I'll speak to her. So he kind of took Qaira out to the front, and he was like, "Hello, darling," and he keeps calling her darling, and Qaira doesn't really like that. And she was like, "Must you really call me that? We're not exactly close." And he was saying, "We will be soon enough, best get used to it." And then Qaira asked him, "Are you happy with this arrangement?" And he said, "Happiness was never a question, darling." And that's kind of where they left off. And now they're back to being themselves, and Mordred's in one corner and Qaira's in another. So who knows if they'll chat to each other more. We are going to continue this engagement episode at the cafe and kind of see who everyone interacts with, and hopefully we can catch Mordred and Qaira chatting with each other a little bit more. I mean, that would be great. I would like things to work out between them. But yeah, that's kind of where we are at. But okay, let's dive on it. And this is kind of important, like the conversation they even had that little bit, because they haven't really spoken to each other since, you know, greeting each other at the banquet. They have not had a single conversation, and this was like the first time following their engagement, only because Matchmaker K was like prodding Mordred to go ahead and do it. So let's dive on in and see what's going on with everyone. Oh yeah, also let's just take a look at this lot because it is beautiful. I will put the lot name and the creator's name in the description below so you guys can download this lot from the gallery. It is lovely though. Just look at this. Look at this. It's like quaint. It's cute. Oh, it's beautiful. And so this out here is where they had their engagement. And I found it very fascinating as well that it was storming and there was lightning, and it's like the world is unhappy with this match. The world's like telling us this is not it. But hey, Eden's pretty adamant. She's pretty adamant. But okay. Oh yeah, also inside. Of course we need to take a look at inside. So we've got this ground floor over here, and then the upper level that's kind of just got some bathrooms and some like seats and stuff, and that's pretty much it. But okay, let's see what's going on with everyone, where exactly they're at. Okay, Princess Ice, she wants to become friends with Lady Elaine. Now we know that Ice is like super excitable and she just loves everything and everyone. And one of the things that Ice's post talked about is how her favorite part of the entire tournament was literally watching it with Princess Bloom, and she was saying how she actually got very lonely at the Creature Cradle after Bloom left. And you know, she's just so happy to finally be reunited with Bloom and kind of be with her everywhere. Growing up, you know, because they were really close in age, they were like each other's companions, and I feel like Ice is maybe a bit more reliant on Bloom than Bloom is on her. Like Bloom's kind of chasing after Eve, you know, whereas for Ice, like Bloom is it. So she was a little bit lost when Bloom suddenly moved into the castle and like she was by herself. So I think part of her anticipation was definitely to be reunited with her sister, and she's kind of had that. But she's also fascinated by like everyone, all the legendary characters, and you have to realize she is like the youngest princess at this point, the youngest one, you know, the last child born. So every character that comes before her is essentially like a legendary character to her, especially some of the older ones. So yeah, she wants to befriend Elaine, the scholar. She finds Elaine very, very fascinating. She's gonna ask Elaine about, you know, the vampiric history. She's gonna talk about the warm temperature, why not? I think it was about candy. So she's gonna go ahead. I don't know who this citizen of the Empire is, but we'll kind of let him be, and we'll focus on this. Ask for typing tips, why not? But I imagine she's just really, really fascinated, especially by the fact that Elaine is at this point one of like the 3 originals in court, including Eden and Guinevere. Everyone else has died out, and they're probably characters that Ice either did not get to meet or she doesn't really have recollection of from, you know, when she was very, very young. I mean, I'm sure there were characters who were present during her birth that unfortunately died afterwards. So for that reason, I think Elaine just really fascinates her as well. So we'll continue chatting. Try to console her or ask for encouragement. Yes, of course. Let's ask for encouragement. Okay, come on. Complain about thunderstorms. Maybe don't scream incoherently. I don't know how Elaine would take that. Enthuse about interests. Try and be a bit more amiable. Give a pep talk. Why not? And let's see, talk about the thunderstorm. Let's go ahead and stargazing in this weather feels a little bit dangerous. Like, what if you get electrocuted? What if you get electrocuted? What then? Okay, I don't know who this guy is. He is a random citizen, of course. Okay, citizen, be off. Be off. Enthused about interests. Maybe not complain about your parents. I don't feel like Ice is the type to do that. I don't think she would complain about her parents. But okay, let's, give pep talk. Ask if the moon is an egg. Serious question, though. Ask about vampire history. Why not give a hip bump? Why not? She's very energized right now. Super energized. Give her a hug. Why not? That seems like an Ice thing to do. Tell a goofy story. I mean, even like, I think the previous episode was it, where she was asking Bloom for like gossip and stuff about Qaira. She's just very excitable. Okay, so she's managed to befriend Elaine. Imagine if this was Juno. Like, this would have made Elaine's life so much easier back in the day if Juno had been like, oh, I want to be her friend. I want her to be my mentor. But no, that did not happen. She's trying so hard to like get this one princess that doesn't like her on her side. And then here you have the youngest one who's like throwing herself at Elaine. Ah, Elaine. You chose the wrong apprentice, but then Ice wasn't around at that time. Okay, and then Bloom. Can we invite, we're going to invite some of the youngsters. So Nixon, guys, has aged up into a teen, and Bloom, I don't know for how many episodes now, she's been wanting to chat with him for like the longest time. So this is Nixon, and she hasn't been able to, and in the previous episode, we kind of mentioned how Reed has a crush on Bloom, but Bloom seems to, for a long time, have had like a bit of a little girl crush on Nixon. And I don't know if that's going to last. I mean, she might get over it at some point. Oh my goodness, Lucille, were you electrocuted? I think Lucille was electrocuted, honey. Honey, what are you getting up to? Can we not... Imagine if someone died at, like, this engagement. That would be just terrible. Imagine if someone died, guys. That would be ominous. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait, hold on a second. I'll be back in a bit. Let me get Lucille cleaned up. Nixon just walked in through the door and Bloom has made a beeline for him, but before we continue their interactions, I just wanted to take a quick look at him because he has aged up and been given a makeover. So, oh geez, this is Nixon. He's special because he is Cataleya's son, so this is also kind of strange because, based on Cataleya's marriage with the Queen, Nixon is Bloom's stepbrother. But yeah, we've had worse relationships in the past. But I mean, to be honest, this doesn't mean that Nixon sees her as like anything more than, a close family relation or whatnot. It's Bloom that has this little girl crush on Nixon. And I could kind of see the appeal why, like, he's different from every other male that's kind of in their huge, like, friendship group / family, because all the other boys have that golden yellow hair from, descending from the Salazar line. I feel like it's Myron. He's given like golden yellow hair to like every male somehow, by somehow being related to them in the bloodline. But all the boys, they have golden yellow hair, and even if they're not like a prince right now, they are descended from the Salazar royal family, so they're from one of the cadet branches or whatnot. Whereas with Nixon, he's got black hair, so already he's different. Nobody else in their generation has, like, none of the males have black hair. Nixon does. And then also, Nixon is, I think, the only male who is, like, a new blood. So if you take, like, the I suppose, the legal relationship they have as, you know, stepbrother and sister aside, he is the only male that doesn't have Salazar blood in him. So for Bloom, maybe all of those things make him like really cool and fascinating and different. And he's kind of like edgy compared to everyone else. So yeah, she's been wanting to befriend him for the longest time, but she has either never worked up the courage or she's just been busy with other things. But finally, at Qaira's engagement, she is managing to do just this. So let's go ahead and let's start chatting with him. Oh, did I even take a good look at him? I didn't really, did I? I didn't really. Okay, anyways, Nixon. Here we go. Now, he didn't have freckles when he was younger, but as he has grown, he started having freckles all over his face, which I think looks really cool on him. He's got the red eyes, of course, which I feel like I keep forgetting. But yeah, he's got the red eyes. He's got a long black hair that he likes to keep kind of plaited to the back. But there we go. That's Nixon. That's Cataleya's son, guys. Cataleya's son. And wait, Cataleya and Beckett. Actually. He is related to the Salazars because his father is Beckett Salazar. I think one of Wisteria's brothers. But in terms of like the female side. So all the other males through the mothers, because, you know, we kind of track through the females more so. Through the mothers, they're pretty strongly descended from the Salazars, whereas maternally, Nixon is like a new blood. So, like with the other males, it's like Salazar, both maternally and paternally. So, you know, Salazar pairings with Salazars, whereas with him, it was like Salazar father that paired with new blood. So, anyways, that's Nixon for you. But Bloom, let's get you to chat with him a little bit. I'm sorry. I keep like sabotaging your interactions with him. Apologies, child. Give him a heartfelt compliment. Let's discuss interests. Let's check in on Lord Nixon. Make a vampire pine. Are you guys gonna go sit down somewhere? Are you gonna sit down with Ice and Diana? I mean, that's nice. That's pretty nice. Joke about weird animals, why not? Okay, so she's gonna go ahead and do that. Now, on Bloom's post, she kind of talked more about how like invigorating and inspiring the Royal Tournament was, and she was actually itching to dive in and take part as well, even though she's so tiny and she's so small. But also because of her like excitement, she noticed that, you know, Eve really wanted to be in there because, you know, she pays a lot of attention to Eve's moods. And she kind of felt bad that their mother made Eve and Diana sit out. And I think she was the one who was kind of wondering, like, does the royal mother really not know? Like, is she being oblivious, or does she not care? Like, anyone with common sense can see that Eve really wanted to be in there. So yeah, that was Bloom. That was Bloom. So her kind of attention was mainly on Eve. I think she's used to spending a lot of time with Ice, but maybe, you know what it is? Maybe she just assumes Ice will always like be following her around. So rather than reciprocating that relationship, she puts her time and energy into Eve. Because, you know, when it comes to her and Eve, she's the one following Eve around. So that's kind of interesting. They're like the purple little ducklings. They're so cute. Okay, how's your thing with him going? Okay, it's taking a bit of time. Okay, they are getting closer though. They are getting closer. Let's complain about the cloudy weather. Tell him a goofy story. Brighten his day. Make a vampire pun. Tell him an outrageous story. Let's do a cultural reference. Let's go ahead and discuss interests. Okay. And is Diana talking to Ice? Or is she just sitting there listening to music? Diana, are you actually participating in this? Or are you not? You're kind of just jamming to music while Bloom tries to talk to Nixon? Fair enough. And poor Lucille, she's like still burnt to a crisp. Or she hasn't been able to, you know, clean any of that off because we don't have showers here. So, whoopsies. We don't have showers, so we can't do that. Also, guys, have you seen Mordred and Qaira talking? Like, I still have not seen them talking. I still have not seen them talking to each other. Mordred has only spoken to Bloom. Like, if we look at friendships, he's one of Bloom's friends. So, he's, like, spoken to her, but he hasn't initiated any conversation with Qaira. To be fair, Qaira hasn't either. Oh no, you embarrassed yourself? Why? How? With what? She embarrassed herself when talking to Nixon. Oh, Bloom. To be honest, I could kind of see how she would be. Like, I feel like Bloom normally isn't self-conscious because she's just lovely and everyone thinks she's lovely. But I feel like with Nixon, she's almost kind of second-guessing herself and being extra cautious and trying to be, like, extra, you know, feminine and extra ladylike. So that's, oh, I think that's kind of cute. Okay, where is he going? Nixon! Nixon, no, where are you going, Nixon? Nixon, Nixon! Oh, he's going to academy? To be honest, the youngsters will probably have to go at some point as well. Are you guys actually gonna go? Well, he's off. He's off, unfortunately. Yeah, I think he's going off to academy. So he's kind of... Well, Bloom tried. But you know what? This feels kind of fitting. The fact that Bloom makes such an effort to try with Nixon. But things don't happen as easily as it does with, like, some others. Like, she and Mordred, they became friends real quick and real easily. Like, really easy. Whereas with Nixon, she's been trying for, like, eons, I feel. She's been trying for so many episodes. But okay, that's fine. That's fine. What, you want to go dance to music? You go do that. You go do that. And these youngsters, I think they'll head off pretty soon. Yep. Nope. Where are they going? Look, even Ice is talking to Mordred. Oh, look. Why is Mordred angry? I don't know. But look, even Ice is talking to Mordred. And, like, Diana's here. Are you talking to him as well? No. Ice is. So, everyone else keeps a distance from the Demon Prince, but the kids don't. The kids don't actually mind talking to him. But to be honest, we know it with Ice. She's, like, just fascinated by everything and everyone. So, she's just being her cheerful self. Okay, well, do you not have Academy today? I feel like you would. Yes, you do. Okay, Bloom does as well. So does Diana and Delphi and Eve. Okay, they're gonna head off. Qaira, look at Qaira, guys. She has not had any whims for Mordred. She hasn't gone out of her way to talk to Mordred apart from that one conversation. And to be fair, he initiated that. Now, the interesting thing about Qaira and like Qaira's post, she talked about how everyone's kind of looking at her with all these, you know, expectations, which she has delivered and she has continued to deliver on. But the thing is, people don't realize how much pressure she is under. They think it comes to her easily because she was born with it. And, you know, she was kind of just saying how going into an arena, knowing every single pair of eyes are on you is the most difficult thing. And, you know, so many people, they love the Royal Tournament and they revere it, but she actually doesn't. She hates it. She doesn't like the Royal Tournament because of what it means. Like, for everyone else, it's just a battle of strength, right? They just have to win that one battle. Whereas for Qaira, there's so many things on the line. Her title as heiress, her position in the council as a council member, this unwanted marriage, like so many things are on the line if she loses a battle. So she kind of has to fight even harder to win and make sure that, you know, she doesn't disappoint people and she doesn't disappoint herself. And then also saying how, like, these titles, sometimes she's just so desperate to say no, but she can't, because those titles are what makes her Qaira, and Qaira is the result of all those titles. So she's kind of in a strange place, but I suppose that's identity as well. It's like so tied into not just who she is as a person, but what she's supposed to do and what she was born for. It's hard to like separate those two things. And so even when there's parts of her that doesn't want to do it, she has to at the end of the day. She has to. She can't walk away from those things. So, poor Qaira. Poor Qaira. Okay, Lucille. Lucille, who got burned to a flippin' crisp. Okay, hold on. What's going on with you guys? No, go to Academy. Where you at? Go to Academy. You silly geese. Diana's the only one who didn't come back. The others, for whatever reason, came back. No, you guys go. Go to Academy. Stop, like, wasting time. Okay, Lucille. Lucille's over here. She's kind of just eating. Now, Lucille's post kind of spoke about her relationship a little bit with Guinevere. And the fact that she, she has heard that her predecessor, because, you know, she's broodmother, her predecessor, Lady Lagertha and Lady Guinevere, were deeply in love, and she's wondering whether Guinevere is going to have space in her heart for Lucille to enter. And, you know, that's because they do have this kind of blooming romance going on with each other. As you can kind of see, there's that romance. And, you know, she's the first person that Guinevere has kind of started anything with since Lagertha's death. I don't feel like there was too long a break between Lagertha's death and kind of this starting, but it's not as though it happened straight away. She didn't move on straight away. But I feel like she's kind of given it a healthy, like, mourning period, and she's not, like, stuck in the past, per se. She's kind of let Lagertha go and be at peace. So yeah, Lucille was kind of wondering about that, and, you know, she wants to stargaze with Guinevere. Unfortunately, it is not the time for that. It is the daytime. But, yeah, she's definitely wondering about that. Okay, Lexi. So, this one here, her post was kind of her being, like, really happy for Princess Qaira, and her, you know, saying that it seems as though the thing was a success, the Royal Tournament, and she, like, Qaira is kind of worthy of being the heiress, or, like, of course she's the heiress type thing. Again, like, with Qaira, she was saying how people think it comes easy to her, and I feel like maybe Lexi's fallen into that trap of thinking that it's easy for Qaira, or, of course she's winning, you know, she's the heiress, so those kind of things. But then she was saying, you know, maybe she should go to the temple and pray for Qaira, and then she was thinking about Lady Cataleya, because Cataleya and her are really close friends, about how Cataleya, she would probably really appreciate blessings to be given to Qaira and Mordred's relationship, since, you know, she played a part in introducing the matchmaker and such. So that was kind of where it looks, her kind of head was at. But she wants to know a bit more about Princess Bloom. She wants to speak a bit more to Princess Bloom. Okay, Elaine. Now, Elaine's post was interesting because Elaine spoke about how the tournament was a disaster. It's funny. Everyone has kind of, like, different perspectives, but for Elaine, it was kind of a disaster because Qaira was kind of... Well, did she say it was a disaster? Maybe she wasn't being that grave. I don't think she was being that grave, but she was saying it's a disaster not for Qaira, but for Juno. So her focus was mainly on Juno, the fact that Juno has been kind of on a losing streak recently. You know, she was kind of chumming up to Guinevere when she was questioning Elaine. This is what Elaine was saying in her post, you know, that Juno was chumming up with Guinevere when she was questioning me, but then at the end of the day, and she thought she was like getting close to Guinevere, but then Guinevere didn't even recommend her in the council, and then Guinevere, she kind of fought with or they had like a battle with Qaira, and she and kind of Qaira came out on top, and she was probably really happy that Qaira defeated Juno. So really, like, Guinevere is not exactly on Juno's side, but Juno, she basically put her trust like in the wrong person, and she wouldn't have betrayed Juno's trust like that with like the whole council situation, and she feels like Juno made the wrong choice for who her mentor is, and she keeps making the wrong choice when really Elaine is her best option. So Elaine was kind of just being salty on the side there about that whole situation, and a bit petty, I feel. But Elaine is Elaine. And Juno, right, so Juno, I feel like the people who are focusing on Juno were kind of pitying her that she lost real quick, and she was supposed to be one of the more exciting battles with Qaira. But in Juno's post, she kind of spoke about how Qaira made like an honorable win, and even though she lost, she didn't lose easily. She lost to a strong opponent. Like, to other people it may have seemed easy, but Juno knows that Qaira fought really hard, like tooth and nail, to make sure that she was defeated. So she kind of respects the fact that others may not see it, but yes, I was actually a pretty strong contender for Qaira, and things really were up in the arena. So she was kind of happy with that, and she kind of made peace with that. But then she was also saying that there still is, such a huge gap between Qaira and I, even though we have both completed our training and we kind of have the same amount of training, so she needs to put maybe a little bit more work in. But she wasn't demotivated by that, and whatever others may think. Elaine's over there thinking that, it's the end of the world for Juno, but really, Juno doesn't feel the same way. For her, it's like, well, I tried my best, I fought, and Qaira was the stronger one, and that's completely fine. I respect her. Like, she didn't win by cheating or anything like that. Like, she won fair and square. So that's very mature of Juno. She wants to be friends with Lady Delphi, but Delphi's like, not here. That's fine. Okay, Guinevere. Now, Guinevere's post was kind of cute because she was like over the moon that Qaira won 5 battles, and for her that whole event was like a huge success. She was so proud of Qaira, and she was kind of saying how maybe at times it seems like Qaira is, the softer princess out of her sisters, but at the end of the day, Guinevere's training cannot fail her, and how for her, like, winning the royal tournament doesn't mean anything. Like, her victory is inconsequential compared to the 5 battles that Qaira won. That's like the more important thing for her. So she was really, really proud of Qaira for that. And then she talked a little bit about how Qaira kind of seems like she's unhappy with this arrangement with Mordred, but she knows better than to complain. Like, she's smarter than that. Like, this match, if she knows how to use it, could be of benefit to her. She could make use of Mordred and kind of get stronger politically in that way. So it's intriguing to me because, yes, on one hand, she's proud with Qaira and she does empathize with Qaira, but then also she has a slightly different view. To her, it's like Qaira is strong and she's like achieving all these things and she knows the sensible thing to do. Whereas when we look at Qaira's post, obviously Qaira's thinking that she's not going along with this because it's the smart thing to do. She's going along with all of this because she kind of feels helpless and she's got no choice but to go along with it. So again, sometimes even the people closest to you just don't understand exactly what you're going through. So that was kind of intriguing. But regardless, Guinevere is quite proud of Qaira. Okay, Eden. Oh, what, you guys are standing a bit too close, aren't you? Yes, that's what I thought. Back up a bit. Okay, so Eden's post, she was saying how the royal tournament was, like, it went exactly as planned. Everything was kind of perfect. She managed to show off Qaira, which is exactly what she was hoping for. She wanted to make Qaira, like, more appealing to Prince Mordred. Like, before he may have thought she was just, you know, a beauty without any brawn or any brain. But now, why is she throwing up? Maybe it's the food she had. For a second I was like, is she pregnant? But no, she can't be. It's the food. They can't. They have the withered stomach, and they probably ate some stuff at the cafe. But yeah, so she was quite happy that, I feel like this whole thing, she's kind of just parading Qaira and, you know, selling Qaira to Mordred, and she feels like Qaira did a good job of seeming like good livestock, essentially. So she was really happy with that, and she was just saying how this match is, like, very important. This marriage must happen. So she's very determined on that front to make sure that it does. And, you know, she made kind of the next step, or they went the next step, and they did the engagement in this episode. So that's kind of, that's where Eden's at. And then Cataleya, sneaky Cataleya. So she was saying how everything, you know, on her end is perfection with how things have been going. She can see that Eden's, like, really invested with this marriage. She even invited the demons to join her on the balcony at the tournament grounds, you know, as her guests, which, you know, those are places of honor. So, like, typically even the council members sit there, so she is really happy with that. But then also she can kind of see that Mordred hasn't been speaking to Qaira a lot. If anything, he didn't go down to speak to Qaira like she thought he would afterwards to congratulate her or anything like that, even though he was impressed by her. He was speaking to Bloom. So Cataleya was getting a little bit concerned about that, because she was saying having one princess who's, like, not happy with this is hard enough, but if the prince becomes sidetracked, then that's not going to be good for anyone. It's just going to be unnecessary trouble. So she was kind of hoping that Kay keeps Mordred under control and make sure that he knows, like, exactly why he's here. But she wants to yell at Elaine. Of course she does. Of course she does. You know what? Elaine's probably been whispering a little bit again of late, and maybe Cataleya overheard that, and she's, like, not happy with it. Some of you have been saying in the past recent episodes, Eden, you are throwing up a lot. You should stop eating this stuff downstairs, really. But yeah, some of you were saying how Cataleya's defeat was so satisfying, because that's probably, like, for Qaira, because that might be one of the only ways she can get back at Cataleya for this whole match and this whole marriage, because she can't really do anything to her otherwise. And then I replied to that, and I said, Cataleya in actuality is kind of hiding behind Eden, so people wouldn't, I mean, obviously they know her connection to the demon faction, but to everyone else, Cataleya isn't the one who's made the match, or she isn't the one who's arranged the marriage. For everyone else, Eden's the one who's arranged the marriage, and Eden asked Cataleya to contact the matchmaker, and Cataleya just, like, passed the queen's message along. So even if she does have a role, she has a very minor role in this whole thing. It's mainly Eden. So nobody's really blaming Cataleya for this whole thing. Even Qaira, she's not blaming Cataleya. As far as everyone else is concerned, it's the queen's plans, and Cataleya's kind of just going along with it. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening there. But I feel like Elaine's probably the one person who, you know, she doesn't like Cataleya, and she feels like Cataleya is quite sneaky and manipulative. So she probably is going around telling people that, you know, Cataleya is the one who wants the match, or she's making maybe snide remarks about how Cataleya is the one who's arranged everything. So I can imagine how it's cheesing Cataleya off, because she's managed to, like, basically introduce the two and then kind of slink into the background, and now Elaine's, like, dragging her to the forefront and saying, oh yeah, you did this match, didn't you? You did this match. So I think she's getting annoyed, and she just wants to yell at Elaine to, like, shut her trap. So let's go ahead and do that. let's go ahead and do that. This is really not the thing to be doing at engagement, especially when you have, you know, the flippin' royal prince and the matchmaker here. It's not a good look. But then again, I don't think Cataleya cares about this because it's not like these demons are foreigners. They're probably more on her side than members of the court. So yeah, she's like yelling across. She's yelling across the way at Elaine. She's like not happy with her. Yep, okay, there we go. I think she definitely feels more satisfied. Okay, and then Mordred, Prince Mordred. So I still have not seen him talk to Qaira. I've seen him talk to like Elaine. I've seen him talk to Ice and Bloom. I have not seen him talk to Qaira on his own. They haven't even spoken since that like mini conversation they had at the front. But if you look at their relationship, they are actually engaged now. Hold on a second. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Look, they are engaged. But look, they're acquaintances. They have, like, no relationship or no romance. Like, no nothing. They've got nothing for each other. But yeah, with Mordred, so in his post, he was saying how he's, like, really impressed by Qaira. The fact that she's not just pretty, but she actually is strong and talented. But at the same time, you know, she keeps, like, they haven't even spoken to each other once. Obviously, before this episode, they hadn't spoken to each other even once. And Kay keeps like bothering him about it and prodding him about it, but it's kind of hard when she's always carrying a sour face every time she sees him. And he was saying how, you know, nobody likes poor company, but Bloom is different. She's a lot lovelier in that way because she kind of has no gripe with talking to him. She's animated, she's welcoming, she's friendly. And so he was saying how it's good to have at least one sister-in-law on your side. It'll make life like a lot easier later on. And he was saying how he can find her whenever he needs to have a chat. So yeah, guys, I think, I mean, we were all concerned in the previous episode because, you know, the Bloom protection squad, that why is he talking to Bloom and why does he want to talk to Bloom? But, you know, as much as he is like pessimistic and stuff, I do think that at least for now, his relationship with Bloom is nothing weird on his end. He just finds, I mean, he's the type of person that is drawn to prettier people, I think. And the Queen made it quite clear that Qaira and Bloom are the pretty people in the family. But also, because I feel like he's not overly social, so he prefers someone who caters to him socially, or someone who makes the effort. And, you know, one pretty person isn't making the effort, that's Qaira. So the other person that he's kind of drawn to know more about is probably Bloom. And Bloom actually does make the effort to, you know, be nice to him since he's a guest and such, and speak to him. So he feels like he has to make a lot less effort with her, and he's just kind of befriended her as a brother-in-law. So he doesn't have really other intentions towards her. It's innocent, guys. Don't freak out. It's innocent, okay? It's just, he's drawn to pretty people, and she's just easy to get along with. So, it's like having one sister-in-law on his team right now. That's kind of his mindset going into that. But he's had some weird things going on. So, he's been wanting to flirt with Eden, and I don't know what's going on there. Like, she's your mother-in-law at this point. She's your mother-in-law. Like, what is going on in your brain? I don't know. But maybe this isn't like a romantic flirt per se. Maybe as the son-in-law, he's kind of just being a bit cheeky. Maybe. So anyways, he's gonna do that. Yep, he's gonna go and do that. But I feel like maybe that's it. He's just being a little bit cheeky with her. He's being playful with her. Who are you talking to? Okay, you're talking to Kay. You're talking to Kay. Where is the Queen at? Come on. Where is the Queen at? This is maybe him just, you know, joking around a little bit. So, they're just bantering with mother-in-law. Let's go do that. Okay. Hopefully the Queen doesn't take this in any other way. Oh, nope, Queen's not happy. That was awkward. Yeah, Queen's like, no, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? What is this? Flirting with Kay? Mordred. Mordred, what's going on with you? Mordred's all over the place, guys. Mordred is all over the place. Who knows what secrets he has that we haven't discovered. Oh, Cataleya is not happy with that. Cataleya was not happy with that. I mean, to everyone else, maybe they kind of were like... Look, even Kay brushed him off. He's probably like practicing his lines, and Kay's like, no, you're supposed to be saying this to Qaira. Why are you saying it to me? I feel like Kay, you know, is like Mordred's advisor as well. Like, social advisor, therapist, everything. Anyways, maybe for Mordred, it was just like a cheeky kind of being playful with Eden, which, you know, she didn't really like too much of. But with Cataleya, like, obviously with what Cataleya has done and where she comes from, she knows anything is possible. So she probably was a little bit unhappy that Mordred's, like, overstepping his boundaries. Because with this group, like, you don't know. You don't know the type of relationships they might end up having. And he wants to become friends with Lady Lucille. Would you look at that? Oh my goodness, he is being, like, so persistent with Kay. He is being so persistent with Kay. What is going on with you? Guys. Imagine, flippin' hell, imagine if the whole reason why he is not that into Qaira is because he's actually secretly into Kay. Just imagine that. I don't think Kay feels the same way because he is, like, he's genuinely trying to make an effort to have, like, things work between Qaira and Mordred. But just imagine if Mordred was actually into Kay and not into Qaira. That's kind of why that's happening. But okay, where's Lucille at? Lucille? Okay. You know what? He probably finds Lucille fascinating as well because she's a bit, brusque? How do you say that word? I don't know. But, you know, she's rough around the edges. She kind of says what she wants to say. And she's not... Oh, you can cheer and heckle? Interesting. But go speak to her, actually. Go speak to her. She's kind of got a strong personality as well. Sort of like Mordred in that they say what they want and what's on their mind, and they don't really care about what other people think. So maybe he feels like, you know, hey, that's someone who's like on the same wavelength as me. So yeah, let's go chat with her. Let's give her a heartfelt compliment. And also, you know, she got burnt to a crisp, but she's been walking around like nothing's wrong. So he can respect that. He can respect that for sure. Okay, you know what? I feel like Kay makes so much effort to like bring Qaira and Mordred together. Like, he even sits them at the same table. He like tries to get them close to each other, but they just don't click like in any way. Talk about the cloudy weather. Come on, brighten the day a little bit more. Mordred is like stuck. He's just like, Lucille's interesting, but also I want to talk to Kay. Guys, do you think something might be going on here? I don't know. Look at him. He was like breaking his neck to make sure that Kay was in that conversation. And then like Lucille finally had to come over and join them at this table. Oh my goodness, you guys. Like, oh my goodness. Tell a funny story. Tell a funny story. Okay, now she's feeling kind of romantic, but discuss interests. Let's try and befriend her, since you want to befriend her. Check in on Lady Lucille. Discuss local fishing spots, why not? Gossip about the family drama among the demons and whatnot. Okay, so he's going to continue talking to her and obviously try and befriend her. And then he wanted to be mischievous with Blue. I think he does have like just a friendly, playful relationship with Blue. And really nothing else. Okay, and then matchmaker Kay. So in Kay's post, Kay was talking about how Mordred was definitely impressed by Qaira, but he's like dragging his feet and talking to her, and you know, he should really try and make a move. And the thing is, you know, some people might think that this is like a random match between Qaira and Mordred, but that's not the case for Kay. Kay knows that Qaira's strong. Kay's not surprised she won 5 battles. Like, there was a reason why he made the match between Mordred and Qaira, and he personally feels like they are the only match that can, like, not the only, but because, he does have plans for maybe Juno, but he feels like they are the kind of match that will make this alliance work. They both have qualities which he's seen in them that he feels will make the process kind of smoother if they both put the effort in. So, Qaira is not looking for companionship with Mordred. Mordred is not looking to fall in love per se. If Qaira can give him dedication and free reign, then, he'll be able to have like a meaningful life in the Salazar Empire, so far from, his birth home. And he's kind of hoping that these two, they can come to an understanding and they can try to, like, open up to each other. That's kind of what he's crossing his fingers and hoping for. So he's genuinely trying to match them. As much as, this is a task that has been given by the demon faction, he does feel passionately about his work and the matches that he makes. And he's genuinely trying to make sure that Mordred and Qaira have, like, a happy ending with each other. So, what else? So, he's been wanting, of course, Stargaze Juno, but you can't really do that right now. And then become friends with Lady Lexi. So, yeah. The priestess, he wants to befriend her. Maybe he feels as though if he can befriend the priestess, then he can kind of approach her to pray for their match, like Mordred and Qaira, and, give blessings to them so that everything is kind of dandy and la and things go well. Maybe that's what it is. He's like trying everything he knows how to in his trade to make sure that things happen properly. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off. It was a long episode, I know, but I was trying to make up for the fact that I was kind of late to the game. But I hope you all enjoyed the engagement episode and kind of seeing a little bit more about everyone's thoughts. Don't forget to check out the Instagram posts, like I said. And when we come back next time, we actually have Eve's birthday, guys. So she is aging up into an immortal. Super exciting. She's going to age up into an immortal. We'll get to see a final trait. We'll get to see a makeover. And also, we get to finally complete her training. So she'll be able to duel with the champion and, get the mark of, you are now ready to challenge the queen. Or you are basically joining Juno and Qaira on the waiting list to challenge the queen. So, okay, guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.